It's a clash of two 7-2 squads in the American Athletic Conference, the nation's top rushing attack in Navy versus one of the most explosive offenses in college football in South Florida. I'm Nathan Johnson alongside Brad Hopkins. It's time to break the huddle. This one could come down to which quarterback can handle the pressure, Blake Horvath's ground dominance or Byron Brown's dual threat brilliance. And I've watched both of these guys play. Phenomenal. Blake, obviously a very seasoned veteran. Byron, a little bit younger, but still very disciplined. And oh my gosh, he can run the ball, man. He is a dual threat guy for sure. Brad, opening question for you. When you see Navy's option attack matching up against the top 10 offense like South Florida, what stands out first, tempo or toughness?
You know, this is an interesting one because, you know, we picked Navy a couple weeks ago against North Texas.
Yep.
Not the same kind of offense that they're going against, you know, North Texas and South Florida. That there's some principles there, but, you know, I got to think Navy's going to take some lessons they learned in that loss to North Texas and apply it here against this game against South Florida. This is one of the more fascinating and one of the better quarterback matchups of the year. Two guys that, you know, I won't say fly under the radar. You know, you don't think about them as much. They're not on the national scale, but you mentioned Byron Brown, a true dual threat, can get it done with his arm, can get it done with his legs, and then Blake Horvath, it seems like he's been at Navy for 10 years, but is just such a dangerous runner in this Navy offense and this Navy option attack. And this is going to be really, really fun. I'm excited to watch this one. Both of these guys, I think that's an interesting point. Believe both of these guys are their team's leading rushers.
Yeah, they are.
That is this is going to be a really, really fun matchup. You know, both these teams still very, very much alive in the American. So I would say playoff hopes for both these teams are not completely out the window. You know, got Memphis, got Tulane, got North Texas still probably ahead of these teams, but a lot can happen. There's still a lot of football left to be played.
Well, North Texas obviously has the tiebreaker versus Navy. USF still holds their own. I think it's between USF and James Madison right now, which they've come out of nowhere. Not out of nowhere, but they're flying under the radar, so to speak. But when you look at these matchups, Byron Brown, I mean, listen, he's a guy I've watched from the very beginning. The first game against Boise, he just blew.
Yeah, he looked so good. Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you, if he wasn't a senior, he'd probably be transferring next year and he'd be starting for probably an SEC school. I mean, you look at schools like Florida, Auburn, Florida State, they would take him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a heartbeat. So I hate that he's older, but I love what he's doing. Hope he gets a good shot at it in the NFL. Let's talk about the tale of two styles in this game. Navy, number one rushing offense in the nation, 304 yards per game rushing. They're an option team, right? It's very obvious at this point what their identity is. Quarterback Blake Horvath leads both passing and rushing for his team, 926 yards, 13 touchdowns on the ground. Offense runs clock. They love to control the tempo. They rank 28th in the FBS, holding on to the ball for 31 minutes, more than half the game. So they like doing that. And then on the other side, South Florida, a team that can score just so fast, both on the ground and through the air. They get it done. Number 7 total offense nationally, 482 yards per game. And listen, if they get a chance in the playoff, I don't know who they're going to end up playing because a lot still has to play out. Right. They're going to give a team a run for their money. Absolutely. Quarterback Byron Brown is the centerpiece. 2,200 yards passing, over 700 yards rushing, 28 total touchdowns. This guy can do it all. Fast-paced, spread tempo, lowest time of possession in FBS. Doesn't matter because you know why? They score very quickly and they put up a lot of points. Brad, my question to you, with Navy's goal to shorten the game and USF trying to speed it up, which style do you think wins out when they collide?
You know, this is a talk point that we had a couple weeks ago when we picked Navy and North Texas. For Navy, they want to keep the South Florida offense off the field. For South Florida, they want to make Navy try to play pickup
behind,
exactly
behind the score.
You know, to me, if I think if South Florida wins, if they win the toss, they're going to take the ball and try to go score quickly. That is the way to beat these run first option teams is if you can get them behind, they're not built to win in a comeback. And for Navy, get stops on defense, force some turnovers, and control the ball. Keep USF's offense off the field.
Yeah, and that brings us to our keys to the game. You said it best, right? Navy can't get behind early. That was what we talked about when North Texas played Navy. You picked Navy, I picked North Texas. And the reason why I picked North Texas is because I thought they can get Navy out of rhythm. If they can score some points early, they're going to have to throw the ball. Sure enough, that happens. North Texas runs away with it. So the keys to this game, I think, remain the same. For Navy, they got to control time of possession and stay ahead of the chains. They can't have costly penalties. Don't think that'll happen because they'll be doing a lot of running and a lot of push-ups back at their school in Maryland. And then the red zone execution, crucial. USF allows scores on nearly 91% of trips. Now, the question is, can Navy get down there? Right, they got to get down there first. Then they can execute. Limit big plays through the air. Navy's defense ranks 116th in pass yards allowed.
Yeah, that's not a good recipe for what they're going against.
Exactly. They had to play against Messmaker. Well, guess what? Merry Christmas. Now you get to play Byron Brown, who's probably better than Messmaker in terms of his dual threat ability.
Exactly. Dual threat is really the key there.
You umbrella the secondary. Surprise, surprise. Here comes Byron Brown, 6'3", 225 pounds, physical bowling ball right down the middle.
Absolutely.
Knocking you down.
Absolutely.
And then for South Florida, stop the dive early. You got to stay disciplined football. This is not the style of football that they're used to playing. They haven't had to play an option team like Navy. It gave Notre Dame some issues early. Obviously, Notre Dame ran away with it.
Right.
But I thought Navy executed on some key plays early on in that game. They were down 21-7 at one point, so they were able to drive down Notre Dame's throat and score some points. So it's vital for South Florida to stop them. They're 23rd. They're ranked 23rd in the nation versus the run, but haven't faced a true option yet. Like I mentioned, keep turnover margin positive. +7, ranked 17th in FBS. Get early points to force Navy to play from behind. That was our key emphasis for both the last time we talked about Navy, this time as well. There's no difference. You got to force Navy to throw the ball, get them down early, and you got a good chance of winning this game. Brad, Navy's defense gives up nearly 27 points per game. Can they get enough stops, or does this turn into another AAC shootout, or maybe even USF running away?
Yeah, Nate, I do think you're going to see a Navy defense that's more prepared in this one. Once again, we predicted that game a couple weeks ago against North Texas. They've seen that offense now. They saw a good passing attack from Notre Dame too, so I think there's some stuff on film. They kind of know what they're looking at. But you're talking about Alex Golish. This is a very, very similar to Tennessee, where they're going to try to get as wide as they can, create some mismatches. They want to take vertical shots downfield. This is a very, very good USF receiving core as well. North Texas was talented as well. But once again, we go back to what's different is Byron Brown, his ability. If you dedicate too many numbers outside and it favors you inside, you're going to see some read option, you're going to see some RPO. And you mentioned Byron Brown is about 230 pounds. That's not someone you want to tackle for 4 quarters, or else you're going to be done. You're going to be gassed in the third quarter. So I think it's very, very critical that this, to me, Nate, is a game where Navy doesn't necessarily get stops. It may be a lot of let's bend but don't break. Let's force them to field goals. I also think you're going to see Navy play with a lot of too high. I don't think they're going to, which that's playing with fire, because once again that allows Byron Brown and the bull rushing attack to get inside zone, to get off tackle. But I think it's going to be a case of let's keep things in front of us and allow the deep shot. So it's going to be difficult, and that's exactly right. It's going to be a fascinating matchup. But to me, once again, not to repeat myself, but I think the key is you can't let Byron Brown get going with his legs. We know they're going to get passing yards, but when you factor in his legs, it's virtually impossible.
It's over. Yeah,
it's over. Exactly.
Yeah, you can say it like it is. It's okay. Players to watch in this game. We talk about Blake Horvath and his great ability to run and kind of pass the ball. They're a run-heavy team. Right. The heartbeat of the offense. I watched this guy for the last 2 years at Navy. I love this guy, man. He loves this country. He loves playing for Navy. And listen, even if Navy doesn't win this football game, they still got a great matchup ahead against Army. And one of the best, if not the best games of the year each year for college football, right? If he hits 100 plus rushing yards, Navy usually wins. Question is, can he hit that mark?
Yeah.
South Florida wide receiver Keyshawn Singleton. This guy is a dynamic threat for the Bulls. 573 yards receiving, 5 touchdowns, averaging nearly 18 yards per catch. And that has to do with Byron Brown's ability to get the ball out in space and those yak yards that come on top of it. Dark horse for this game, Navy's wide receiver Eli Hedendrick. I think I pronounced that right. I'm going to get butchered in the comments for that one. Serves his country. Really appreciate it. He's explosive in limited targets. Can break the game open with the play action. So if they get some plays going, this could play a role in it. Brad, if you're game planning for USF, who do you spy on Horvath? And can anyone actually contain him in fourth quarters?
You know, Nate, I think the key is when you go against this offense, and I will say, you know, Drew Cronick, the Navy offense corner, he's done a great job. A couple weeks ago when we predicted that Navy North Texas game, you know, we incorrectly said that Navy runs the triple option. It's not a traditional, it's still an option attack at the end of the day, but you know, he's definitely modernized it. They go from the pistol some, they go with a lot of different looks and formations. I think the key is when you face this is linebackers' eye discipline is got to be. Those linebackers cannot be sucked up. At the same time, you know, if they do start dedicating the run, that's where Navy hits you over the top for a pass. So linebackers, you know, just being disciplined is so key. Once again, with Blake Horvath, you got to win on first down. If you can keep them to 3 yards, that's the key. But also, I mean, I just think, you know, getting an option offense and a rushing attack behind the chains to force them into passing situations on third down, that's the key. For South Florida, it's plain and simple. It's got to be the front four's got to control the front has got to control the line of scrimmage to let those linebackers play free and loose it and just let them make plays.
Yeah, I'll turn it over to you, Brad, as we make our predictions here. USF coming into this one favored by 10.5. Huge spread for the Bulls against the Navy midshipmen. This is being played at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in Annapolis, Maryland. Big game for both of these teams with AAC implications. It's going to be a 12 o'clock kickoff on ESPN2, prime time. I say prime time, but midday prime time is what I like to say. Who comes away with this one?
Really, really like Navy. They've got a good squad, but I just think South Florida's got too many weapons. And Nate, little surprised. I get it. He plays American, but why is Byron Brown not getting more love in the Heisman conversation? I mean, and I'm not saying, you know, I don't think he should be the favorite or anything, but, you know, he's a great passer. He's leading this team in rushing. You know, he should be getting a lot of love, but I'm going to take the Bulls in this one. I do think Navy scores points. I think they keep up, but ultimately I think it's South Florida's athleticism and their playmakers in the second half that takes this one over. Give me the Bulls.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, and I know we didn't talk on this much at all, really. I'm curious to see how the weather plays into this game. I just looked. It's going to be 48 degrees. A little bit different, a little bit chillier than South Florida right now. I understand it doesn't get like 85, 90 degrees at this time of year in Tampa, but I can promise you it's a lot nicer down there than it is up in Annapolis. So curious to see if that plays a factor early on in this game.
Absolutely.
Maybe Navy takes advantage of that, hits them early, makes the first punch in that cold weather. Things can get interesting up in Annapolis.
Very good point.
But I think in the end, USF is just the better team. And I think Byron Brown is built to win football games. Alex Golish has done a phenomenal, is that his name, Alex Golish?
Alex Golish, yep.
Yeah, Alex Golish has done a phenomenal job building that South Florida program. Had a couple slip-ups this year, but overall, they've played phenomenal football through and through. And I think they come out with a win in this one as they continue their journey to the AAC championship contender and also a potential college football playoff group of 5 team as well. So give me South Florida in this one. I'll take them 42-28. I think it's going to be a pretty
shootout.
I think it's going to be pretty high scoring. I think USF runs away with it in the end. Drop your score predictions down below. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're almost to 1,000. We really appreciate all the support so far. Help us to grow it. Share it with your friends that are college football fans as well. Be sure to check us out Friday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time for our Break the Huddle After Dark edition. Live commentary and analysis for the Louisville-Clemson game. We'll see you then. It's time to break the huddle.